Okay, thought I'd talk about a horror comic called Sanctum. This is by Humanoids, the publisher. It comprises of 3 60-page issues to make up the whole story from start to finish. There are other versions of it where they've elongated the story, Sanctum, Redux and Genesis, but this is the original one. It follows a US submarine that finds a distress signal off the Syrian coast, and they discover there's a sunken Russian submarine from sort of the late 40s, early 50s there. But this submarine is outside of a massive ancient temple that's underwater. They breach the temple and then find that there are all these sort of gods and idols and things to this ancient god called Mot. And then they find that they are being influenced by the temple and the being that is within it, and they have to get out and get away. But the crew's starting to go crazy. They're exhibiting signs of diseases and conditions that they shouldn't have, almost like they're being tortured by these diseases, because where they should die they won't die, and they start killing each other. And the people in the temple start having themselves tested by their fears, and you see there's this creature, this big demon-like creature that's in there, tricking them and trying to push them to the edge. And all along this way you've got this sort of commander of the ship who's in the temple with them, and he's got his own personal problems with his child at home, and he feels guilty for having left them because the child's ill, and he manages to escape. Now, as he's escaping, the people on the submarine are also having their own story play out where they're trying to escape as well, because they effectively abandoned the guys in the temple in line with procedure, and they're trying to find a way out. This all plays with very good art that's very sort of atmospheric, and it really gets the scale and the size of this temple over. It's very clear to understand what's going on as well. There's none of this sort of imagery you've got to try and guess at. And it's got a conclusion where the two stories both come back round and meet up. And what they do very well is that you think they found a way to get out of this temple and sort of beat this monster that's chasing him, this commander does, and then by doing that you find out that it was all part of the monster's plan, and he's actually releasing the seal on this temple, because it's not really a temple, it's actually a trap. This ancient civilization built this humongous labyrinth to lure the monster in, and then sacrificed all of themselves to feed it and keep it there, whilst they created a giant seal for magical purposes to keep this god of death, Mot, in there. And by luring people in and pushing them towards this exit in order to break the seal to exit, they obviously allow the god to escape, and the end of it is the sort of apocalypse about to occur. You see this big sky beam, before sky beams were a thing, coming out, and everyone going like, oh shit, and realising they've made a mistake and that the apocalypse is coming because they've let this god of death out. I felt it was incredibly satisfying. Obviously at 60 pages an issue, it's only 180 pages in length, but it's all well told. You've got these 2 stories playing off, and again, I'm surprised this hasn't been made into a film. It reeks of something that could very easily be made into a 2-hour film, let's say, because you've got to juggle these 2 stories, or even just a very short mini-series of maybe 1 or 2 episodes. It's just high quality. You always get it really cheap on things like Comixology. I read this one on digital. It's about £1.50 an issue. Pick it up if you're into that kind of thing. You won't be disappointed. And if you have, what have you lost? Like £3 or something like that. If you've got your comments on it, please let me know. Is Sanctum Redux, the sort of elongated version of it, any good? I haven't read it yet because I think I've read the main story, so I don't just want to go over old ground. But let me know. Otherwise, please feel free to like and subscribe. Thanks.